You have a heart of gold. Don't let them take it from you.
Hello, everybody. Today is July 21st, 2025, and you are watching the Dovecote with guest Sage the Anagogue. Sage, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Sage the Anagogue, worst known for Praise the Hawk Moth King and also Susie. I am the determined and elusive freako of RPGs.
I see. Do you want to talk about... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying I'm one of them. I won't be so definitive.
You're one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we going to discuss what you just sent me, or is that...
Oh, that's just for you, don't worry.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, you can enjoy.
That's awesome, thank you. I love...
I just like to be in the same headspace, you know?
Yeah, the world is so beautiful. Worst known is really good, agreed.
Thank you.
Yeah, so fucking, I don't even know where to start, because, like, you know, you and I are, I think, on some level, kind of in the same, business. I think doing things very, very differently. Like, I think it's fair to say, like, your art is a lot harder than mine, in ways that I think are really fun.
I think that we're both deeply invested in pervert games. I think that for you, there's kind of you're invested in pervert games. I want to say almost like what's the way to put it? Sapphic World is to me almost like the lifestyle pervert, right? Like it's a acknowledgement. Like this is a thing of sex that is. There's some interesting noises coming from your end, darling.
Yeah. That's the knives are being and the water. That's okay though.
Yeah, that's important. But I think Sapphic World is a game about like pervert sex as a continuous lifestyle, but like it's not all raunchy hard hits. It's all periods of enjoying positive experiences, that kind of thing. Whereas I think that my work is very concerned with perversion as kind of a dark, miserable activity, right? I have a very nihilistic life outlook, and so for me, Praise the Hawk Moth King is a game about just the unflinching and endless misery of trying to love someone when all you know is rape. And
yeah.
Susie is the one.
Yeah, I wish I had given Susie a look or a play before getting into this, but I am very curious just from, you know, because I've seen some of it. You and I have talked a little bit about it. What is Susie for folks who don't know?
Yeah, so Susie is a new game I'm working on presently. You play as sex robots. You all begin with identical character sheets. The character sheets are incredibly intricate. They, in detail, model your internal and external, your software and your hardware in its totality. Over the course of character creation, you experience life events, which can range from having a fun time with your owner to, you know, becoming a performer to getting skull fucked to getting raped by a dog while stumbling through the woods. All of those are kind of part of character creation. At the end of it, you're left with a broken mess of a girl. Hopefully you don't die during character creation. You can die. If you don't die, you're left with a broken girl. And then collectively, you have to figure out how to fend for yourself and create kind of a little autonomous community outside of human intervention. So it's a game about Hawkmoth is a game about sex, Susie is a game about bodies, and it's specifically a game about kind of getting broken and traumatized through a period of passive dissociation, and then learning how to flip being a victim into being a predator as a way of self-empowerment. It's a game where you start being like, alright, well, turns out that my character's getting gang fucked, that sucks. And then you end being like, I need 3 more nodes to my action economy, so I'm gonna go brainwash a therapist in order to like get access to her clients. And that will expand my like pool, and the only way I can brainwash her is by like fucking her horrifically enough that it destroys her mind. And that's just like kind of the end state of it. So it's a game that kind of is about that pivot from traumatized and reactive to predatory and active.
Yeah, that's really fun. I'm a big fan of that. That's like a trope that I think is overused in ways that are like not really queered. You know, like the kind of rape revenge thing. But it also sounds like that's not really like I'm identifying that, but I don't think that's what the game is doing. Because it's not feel good.
Yes, this is not a game about like, wow, you're getting revenge on the evil men who have hurt you. This is more like, it is a game where you are hurt very tremendously and taught to think of yourself as a tool, and then you are given access to the world in which you can learn to treat everything like tools.
Right. Yeah. And then I suppose I'll ask, because I don't know if people know what Hawkmoth is. What is Hawkmoth? I played a little bit, and I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, Praise the Hawkmoth King is my Powered by the Apocalypse game. I described it as what if Slug Blaster was a porno. You are a group of teenagers who have been returned to life by a dark god in order to kill devils. You kill devils by raping them, and in doing so exposing them to the forms, at which point they will try to kill you. It is a game about sexual violence. It's a game about committing sexual violence to each other. It's a game that treats sex as the way I think the game treats sex the way other games treat combat, right? It's a sometimes gonzo, over the top, perverted slugfest of a PBTA.
Yeah, it's interesting, because like I've really enjoyed seeing you go through the design process of Hawkmoth and kind of especially landing on that thing where it's like, oh, combat is sex in this game. I think it is a really fun. Combat is also, combat is violation in this game. Combat is rape in this game.
There was a really interesting puzzle in its design where I realized that due to the way it made sex moves work, sex was getting elided, where characters were having, like, they would be like, okay, we're gonna have sex. They would roll their sex moves. They would describe the outcome of sex. And then throughout that, they'd realize they never actually described having sex. They just kind of described having had sex. So I had to figure out, like, a way to intervene and grab hold of people and get them to actually talk about sex. Because it's so easy for our impulses to find ways to get around to having to talk about sex.
Yeah, I think a thought that I've had recently, and I think I'm kind of finding words for it right now, is that I think, like, TTRPG play cultures around indie TTRPGs that include, like, more like sex and romance themes is kind of permanently stuck in kind of an eternal convention. Like, we are all trying to make the safe con table, and thus, like, we are leaning first and foremost towards Fade to Black, and that's not necessarily what we all want.
Yeah, I love that description of it, the eternal con. I do feel like there's, in some ways, we're really trapped in this. There's like a way in which it's always an AP, right? It's always an actual play. Even if we're at home, even if we're with our friends, it always is an actual play. There's always an audience who's going to cancel us if we make a wrong step, right? This is always a group of strangers, even if we know them really well. There's a lot of anxiety. Yeah, everything's built to show how marketable the game is. Yeah.
Yeah, something that was really kind of surprising to me and really made me happy is recently I ran my game Fuck Me Like I'm Stupid, my bimbo adventure game, and everyone in the game like as we were talking about safety, was like, no, like I want to describe as sex as much as we're comfortable with, as much as we want to, and so I had come in being like, this is a group of like likely strangers, and we are probably going to be in some sort of fade black state. But it's like, oh no, I can describe this weird fucking geometric concrete goddess's pussy, and that's what you need.
Yeah, it's so fucking important to actually take the time to describe the things that are happening and to think it through and to talk it through. Say like, well, what is actually like? There's this step in Hawkmoth thing now as a result of this. That's like, say what you are trying to get out of the sex.
Mm-hmm.
Describe what you are doing to their body and to your body to achieve that, and then ask them if they like it. Right, like that kind of. You're framing your desires so explicitly, and you're also very explicitly saying, well, this is what I'm doing to you. Right, like no ambiguity. I am putting my hands on you, I'm doing XYZ and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, it almost kind of leans into the like, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this like kind of critical roleism, the what do you do, which is like I think where it appears in TTRPGs and APs is often kind of this like what do you call it? Fucking like it is glorifying violence. It is saying like it is glorifying and customizing violence almost. Like you are saying, I'm hurting this person in this way as like a cool thing, as like a fun and nice.
Here, because for me, my association is with what do you do, is with Vincent Baker and Apocalypse World.
Oh yeah.
So speaking of something different, though.
Yeah, that is a. I think that is probably the the better version of this, but specifically, I'm talking about this thing that happens in not Dimension 20, a Critical Role that I have not watched Critical Role, but I just know from osmosis. That has like kind of become a like, oh, I'm gonna try and be a good GM like Matt Mercer thing at like a lot of D&D tables. 'Cause I used to play a fuck ton of D&D like back in the day.
Okay.
And it's like this thing of like you brought an enemy down to 0 HP, and the GM will give you like one bit of control, and that bit of control is like, what do you, or sorry, it's how do you do this? That's the specific line. I fudged it. But it's this thing of like very, you know, it is a glorification, is a customization of violence, and I think like, you know, I think a lot of the work that we do, that other folks in this like particular like, you know, fag freak TTRPG world do has to kind of, you know, contend with what does it look like to describe sex? What does it look like to treat sex in the same way that we do everything else that we treat in a TTRPG?
Yeah. Why do we treat sex as something special? I think that there's something about that, you know, that I don't know, that season 4. I have no issue with it. I just think it's noteworthy that it only happens in the moment of death, right? Like,
Yeah, me too.
I think that Apocalypse World is something that's asked continuously. It's kind of the core refrain. In Hawkmoth King, the equivalent is, you know, what play do you make? How do you want to play this? But, yeah.
Yeah, I could go on forever about how like I think there's like a kind of aching hole in like modern trad games, and by trad games I mean like D&D Pathfinders that doesn't really want people to roleplay. But that's like my fucking spiel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Are you working on anything else that you'd like to talk about?
Oh my god, those 2 games not enough for you, girl.
Hell yeah.
No, I'm actively working on both of them right now. I think Hawkmoth King is going to be published. We're crowdfunding it come the fall, with dear Nat 20 from Luck of the Harbor.
Friend of the table, or friend of the show. Fuck.
Friend of the table, yeah.
Yeah.
And Susie is kind of a more long-term project. I don't really know what shape it's going to look like. talking to Jay a little bit about it, Jay Dragon, but he's also a friend of the show. But
Mhm.
I don't really know if I'm gonna actually do anything with it. It's more. I'm starting to hit certain walls with it. I think I don't know. Like, game design is really fun in the first half, but then you
Mhm.
kind of have to get the unsexy part of just kind of iteration. And I'm finding I have a very mechanically minded brain, and that can sometimes kind of get in the way. Where there's these like little intricate models that I'm building that make it harder than I'd like to kind of actually declare a thing to be done or to be satisfied with it. I did have to have this, like, I was complaining about this with Steve, but in order to create a game about robot sex, I first have to, like, construct universe.
Yeah, you have to fucking like make a grid that a bunch of like circuits and parts can snap onto.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. And then it's like, okay, well, now we're in the group play, and, like, how do locations work, right? Should locations, like, if you go to a coffee shop, does the game tell you what you can do at the coffee shop, or do I leave it to common sense? How do I govern your actions? Can you take a certain number of actions every day, or, are there, how does the little intricate thing model for it? How does it expand outwards? How do I build the machine that is the every component of the game? And then how do I have them all relate to each other well is really a challenge.
yeah, I've been I I can really relate to like I'm gonna make a story game, but it's gonna have like a fucking machine attached to it.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I think on a lot of levels, I just really don't consider myself to be a story game designer. I think that, Vincent Baker has described it to be kind of this great game jam. And I don't think I'm participating in the game jam. And I also just don't think that any of kind of the goals of story games align with my goals. I don't know. I just don't really, I don't know. I don't really know what I am, but I don't think I'm a story gamer. I do post story games, but I think Susie, in fact, in some ways skews trad in its
mhm.
impulses. Praise Hogwarts King is more a story game, but it's also, I don't know, I have different desires for it. I'm trying to do a different thing than what a story game is trying to do.
What do you think? What do you think those goals are that differ?
I mean, I think that for me, Praise the Hawkmoth King is almost kind of like first and foremost, like the fact that it's powered by the apocalypse. I could have kind of chosen any system for it. I chose powered by the apocalypse to be cheeky,
Uh-huh.
because it started. I felt so frustrated at how cowardly I think a lot of RPGs are. That I don't think that most of them engage with sex to the intensity that I think that they could, right? I think there's the big taboo of tabletop RPGs is fucking the dice. It's not fucking the
Yeah.
dice. I think the big taboo is sexual violence. I think people are really afraid of it, and so it leads them to construct really strange definitions of sex. So, I just think Monster Hearts would be a better game if people were okay that rape could happen during it. But the
Yeah.
thought of that makes me anxious, and so the game suffers as a result.
I think that makes sense. You know what? I just because okay, two separate but equal thoughts. One, I also think it's cool that there's hey everybody. So this actually isn't me. This is Goat Eclipse. I have different opinions from normal Eclipse. I think it's cool that
Wow.
there's incest in Hawkmoth King. I think it's really cool.
Mm,
Um,
thank you.
my second thought that's kind of related is that I didn't tell you this before you got on the stream, but the name of the initial, for those who can't tell, there's some voice modulation happening here. The name of that initial voice modulation, I think I called it Big Sister, which, because I was just like, I was playing around with stuff and I was like, this is very, there's Big Sister. There's one called Big Sister and one called Weird. Um,
That's good.
and if you combine
I
them,
am kind of a big sister.
yeah, that tracks. I think the world needs more more big sisters. And
Yeah. To be serious about it for a second, I think there's a tremendous anxiety around it being openly dominant. Right? It's much more comfortable to be openly submissive than openly dominant. And so I try to write the scale where I can and be a proud, self-avowed, dominant pervert.
Hell yeah.
So I love how it looks like my eyes are looking back and forth across the screen when I
Yeah, it
talk.
looks really fucked. I love it. I'm in my fucked era, if you can't tell just by the way the stream looks, like the fucking dithering. Um, but, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, on the topic of like being dominant, something that just kind of reminds me of something, which is that I had a friend who has played a couple games of Sapphic World, and is like a dom, but like in the first one played a submissive character, and
Mm-hmm.
like explained to me that like yeah, we were playing with like strangers, and I didn't want to be the person who played a dominant character in that situation, and I thought that was fascinating because I think you are right. People don't want to be like not people don't want to be dominant. People don't want to be seen or are afraid to be seen as dominant specifically.
Mm-hmm. The problem is that dominance is about action, right? It's I mean, I think that it is, in a strange way, I think there is something more reassuring about being the receiver than to be the one applying, because to receive means that you can always be the victim, right?
Yeah.
The submissive can always be reframed as the victim, and the dominant can always be reframed as the rapist.
Yeah, that is true. Like I think that there is something about like kind of uh like and even in a in less serious circumstances the person who is less active at the table may has the opportunity to be to understand themselves as victimized by the person who is more active. Like I
Yes,
think that all these
exactly.
things are kind of everybody talks about like TTRPG as kink, but it is true.
Hmm. Well, I think that the thing about talking about TTRPG's kink is that we should also understand kink to be a form of roleplay, and therefore we should understand that the flaws that we can find in one can also be easily seen in the other, right? That every time, like I was thinking about this when a friend of the show, Che, was
Mhm.
talking about the failures of framing RPGs as kink because it doesn't translate back. But when I ran Hawkmoth King for a polycule a few weeks ago, and when I did that, we had a whole conversation about the failures of the kink scene, because they don't have context for that in RPGs, but they have context for it in kink, and things like like the challenge of what do you call safe, sane, consensual as a framework for kink is completely ridiculous, right?
Mhm.
The idea that playing, I've got a friend who's really into hypno, and they're considered a hypno edge player because they engage in hypno that intentionally goes into non-consensual, or like like CNC hypno play, and it's like, okay, but why the fuck is that edge play? Is not the whole point of hypnoerotica that you're LARPing CNC? It's a game. You're playing a game.
Yeah.
Hypno is a LARP, right? And by extension, right, like we can kind of start to understand some forms of RPGs as being like, we're buying into this shared perversion.
Yeah, it's the fucking wizard. You just gotta, when when you're G and I should stop laughing because I'm trying to make a serious comparison. I'm just using a funny example. But like when the GM says you're in the piss forest with the wizard, like you know you gotta. It's okay to buy into
Yeah,
that. It's okay to like
yeah.
that.
We're not in the piss forest with the GM, right? Like, come
Yeah.
into the piss forest with me.
Take my hand. This image of the the girl from your icon holding out a hand, like in the "Let's take ibuprofen together" image. Let's go into the piss
Yeah,
forest together. Um,
yeah, literally so fucking true.
yeah. What was I gonna? Oh yeah, I think one of the most mind-opening things that someone said to me when I was younger was I think I was in like my first year of college, and I was watching a video. I don't remember what I think it was about like um like house with like a disabled queer partner, and I think it was like a polycule, um, and
Mhm.
a person who is very near and dear to me, who kind of was very important in guiding me on like understanding like queer politics in a way that is actively inclusive and not like punitive. Um, you know, they said like, I have friends who I have friends who live in all sorts of situations. I have friends who live, there's three of them and they have two kids. I have friends who, um, who live long distance. I have friends who live in 24/7 relationships. And at that time, I was very, you know, I, hmm, there was a time where I was definitely involved in um, like some more like puritanical developments on Twitter, and I think that was that time, and it was like mind opening. Like, oh, this is a thing that people actually do. This isn't just like a hypothetical on the internet. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know where I'm going with this. I guess my point being just like there's so much there's so much like beauty and versatility in the way that people live and love and I think that like a lot of the systems that we use to talk about those things can be really reductive and limiting.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I
Um.
also think the framework of consent is fucked, but it seems to be the dominant eye of our society, so we just kind of gotta roll with it.
Sorry. What was that?
I think the notion of consent itself is fucked. Like, I
Hmm.
just don't think that's a good model. Because I think that consent is itself a framework that comes out of the legal system. And so I think that as long as we're talking about things through consent, we're talking about things through a legal standard for agreement rather than, I think, understanding the complex ways that you can agree to something, you can consent to something, and it can hurt you. Does that mean that the person you consented with is a perpetrator, or does it mean that you have been hurt by their actions? I think that consent serves to obfuscate the reality of what it is for people to engage with each other sexually or in any other context. But that's just
Yeah.
little old me. You know, you're not gonna change the world about that. So.
Yeah. No. I hear you though. I've had situations where someone I love touched me, and I said not now, and like, is that sexual harassment or is that just like we have a dynamic where we're usually touching each other, and that wasn't
Yeah,
the
of
moment, and you know they withdrew their hands. Like those things happen all the time.
course, yeah. I have had experiences with people in which we both consented, and after the fact, I was really, really upset about it.
Mhm.
And I think it would be really cruel and immoral of me to try and find some justification to blame them for my negative feelings, when in fact maybe it's possible that I can have a positive sexual interaction with, I know that I can have a consensual sexual interaction with someone that was still a bad idea for me. And then on the flip side, I've had sexual encounters with people in which neither them or I at any point verbally consented, right? We maybe didn't even talk to each other, but we both had a positive sexual experience and I look back on it fondly.
Yeah, yeah. I really I think that's very true. I think as I'm getting older, I'm finding that to be more true. I mean, I'm not even that
Yeah,
old, but you know what I mean. Like, um,
yeah, yeah, you're so young.
um, yeah, yeah. I was gonna say something. Um, oh yeah, I wanted to know, are there any games that you're looking at that you're excited about? Any games that you're playing? Any games that you're putting your fucking peepers on?
I think You Will Die in This Place is a very exciting game. I'm really interested in that. Um, I think Going for Broke by Avery Alder is, of course,
Mm-hmm.
very interesting. Although I think that Avery and I think I think I'm more of a pervert than her. But I still appreciate Going for Broke. Um, I gotta admit, I'm an old school girl. I know that sucks. I know like fight games are the big thing right now, so it's like any moment now there's gonna be a whole wave and it's gonna get commodified and there's gonna be faggot censor mark on it, and that's gonna be this brand thing that's gonna win the Ennies in a couple years or whatever the fuck. But I think right now I'm an old head. I think that my favorite games are like all came out in like 2008 or 2010. I don't know. I just don't really. I think my favorite games to be playing are ones that when or maybe just from a slightly different sexual climate, maybe.
I think that makes sense. Yeah, like, it's what sort of stuff from 2008 2010?
I think Poisoned is a very interesting game.
Hmm.
I think Apocalypse World is, of course, a fantastic
Mhm.
game. It continues to be a fantastic game. I think Purple Hands by Ron Edwards is really interesting. I think there's a lot of kind of the old Forge stuff when they're trying stuff out. Paul Chege's, whatever the name of that goddamn Golem game is, but that one is really interesting. Um, just a lot of like old pervert shit.
Yeah.
I just think, there was a whole wave of it back during the Forge. Even like the very I don't know, very old stuff. It's just very appealing to me.
What elements do you think of it? What elements of it do you think appeal to you?
Um, I mean, I think it's just the way there's a real concern with kind of mechanizing these relationships, right? You're kind of building a machine to model the way these characters relate to one another, and there's an understanding that part of how they relate to one another is through sex, and therefore sex must be part of the machine, right? Like you can't model the way in which these people relate to each other unless you acknowledge that sex exists. So there's a real concern with like the kind of mechanical fidelity of like we are building characters who we're integrating into this mechanical representation of a system of relations. Um, Footnote. But they're not like I don't know, like because there's such a concern with being mechanical about it, it means they can't escape sex, right? Like you can't just be
Right.
like wave your hand and make it fuzzy, like I think a lot of later games do, where it's like there's no sex in Slug Blaster. There's no like move you can make where you can sneak off during a run to fuck someone. I just kind of assume that if you want to do that, you'll find a way to do that without the mechanics. Because Slug Blaster isn't concerned with modeling the intricacies of the relationships between the characters. And Slug Blaster is concerned with like this kind of genre emulation that does not have sex in it. Whereas I think a lot of these older Forge games are really concerned with specifically like, oh, it's not just genre emulation, it's not just this facsimile, but instead it's uh, I'm building this Arthurian system of knights, and by God, will I think about how they relate to women? And yes, I'm thinking of the clay that woke.
Okay.
Thank you.
What if? Sorry, I see woke and I just start. Anyways.
Uh-huh.
Anyways. But yeah, no, I think I hear that position. I think that makes a lot of sense. Because I do think there is a tendency to I mean, there are two things here that I really agree with. The first one being, I don't like the way that I think a lot of modern TTRPGs, sexy or not, kind of pivot towards genre emulation.
Yeah.
Because I think that there's a lot to be found in like really weird and robust and complicated inspirations, and I think, there's not a we're living in an era of like a lot of pastiche PBTAs.
Yeah.
And I
We
want
are. And people love to try to boil things down to pastiche, right? Like people love to be like, oh, Hawkmoth King is Madoka Magica, and I'm like, no, it's not. Actually, Hawkmoth Chan is kind of a QB reference, but it's not Madoka Magica any more than it's Ender's Game or that other fucking book by. Oh god, there's this one. Oh, Garth Nix's really freaky book. What's that one called? Garth Nix. Kane. This really fucked up book that is a big inspiration for me. I always forget its name. Um, he's written 1,000,000 book.
hmm,
Well, never mind.
1
We'll never
million
know.
book.
I'll find it. I'll find it. Shade's Children. That's what I'm thinking of.
Okay.
Shade's Children, which is a book where the Earth is invaded by these like horrible, like interdimensional, fucked up cyber warriors, and they're taking humans and turning them into these fucked up killer machines and like warping their bodies to transform them into dogs and so on. And it's about a group of kids who have to like band together and try to like save the world, but they can't. They fail. They suck. It rules. It's great. It's bleak and hope perverted.
I feel like I think Nem of Sandy Pug did had mentioned this a while back. Like, you need to have you need to be a pervert about your inspirations. Like, you need to be like, yeah, this fucking this one Lego set was a major inspiration. This fucking book, this like fucking walk that I went on, like you can't be like, I'm making another Star Wars TTRPG. I'll kill you.
Yeah, I mean, like, much love to the people making Star Wars TTRPGs. No disrespect.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I do need, I was gonna say, like, watch out.
Friends of the show.
I was gonna say, yeah, there's not only friends of the show making Star Wars RPGs. Watch your tongue. But it is like, I think to me, it's like, I don't care about, like, I think if you tell me, like, this is a Star Wars RPG, I go, okay. Like, that kind of makes me care less about it, because that means that, like, you're trying to get me to understand it. But if you present me with a question, right, like a mystery about it, where it's like, this is, if you told me that you were making a new game, and that game is you thinking through, you're working on a new game, and you're thinking through, your issues with American gods by way of Dune. Immediately, that is the most interesting game pitch you could possibly give me. Right? What the fuck is the game that is American Gods X Dune? Where you're like, I've got problems with American Gods and I'm thinking with through the Dune. That sounds like the coolest fucking game in the world. And it's so much more interesting because you've taken two things that feel incongruous and you've put them next to each other. And like, that is itself so much more interesting as a genre emulation, by just simply creating a negative space between these two properties that demands exploration. And I think that's the kind of genre emulation I'm interested in, where if you have to emulate a genre, at least tell me you're imagining a field, and tell me the extremes of the field and the thing you're trying to land in between. Hopefully there'll be two really interesting things, because that'll be very interesting to me.
Yeah, I want people to read my, like, my, like, this game is inspired by lists and feel confused. Be like... I got a message an hour ago from someone telling me that my list of things that inspired Cloth King made them queasy. That's awesome.
I really want to know more about why.
Yeah. God, I'm just remembering...
Porn. I just stopped finding good porn. So I'm still looking at pornography right now. I just haven't found any to send you.
That's okay. You can send me more porn whenever you want.
No, I know. I just have only seen bad porn. So
and that's on air now, so you can blackmail me with that.
Scrolling and looking at bad porn. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I had the thought, like, what do I put in these fucking inspired by lists? And I looked at the Stranger's Just a Friend ashcam, and it includes The Mountain Goats Dark in Here, Mike Cheslick's The Hundreds of Beavers, Carlos Fuentes' Chalk Mole, and just fucking, like, osmosis glimmered elements of Washington Irving's The Legend of Sleepy Hollow that I've never read it.
Yeah.
And this is a game about T for cis, T for C fucking MLM sex, so and
cool.
like,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. I think to be a person, like, if you want to be like an adult who I have any respect for, I do think you have to be you have to be smart. I don't know, not to be a huge bitch.
No, you're right.
All wrapped up in like all kinds of essentialist understandings of intelligence, but like you do have to like be well versed in various things. You have to have a lot of different things that interest you, and you have to like take time out of your life to engage in different things. And like I feel like innumerably privileged in order to make that claim, but I do also just think that people should be like, you don't have to read a lot of books, but you should be engaging in a lot of different things. And there's a thing in a lot of competitive games that's like a growth mindset, where it's like, sometimes people play chess and they're just playing chess to play chess, and like they won't get any better at chess because they're just playing. And then there's some people who play chess and after each game take 5 minutes to like assess the game and talk it through and like realize what they did wrong. And those are the people who are getting better at chess. And I don't necessarily think you have to like apply that to all areas of your life, but I do think that like if you want me to be someone who I respect, I do think you have to like I want to be applying a growth mindset to like your intake of knowledge into the world in a way that like is kind of being a pervert about it. I don't know. I think like to be a pervert, you kind of have to be smart. That's my.
I agree. Because I think that like some of the most boring pornography that I've ever read and some of the most boring TTRPGs that I've ever read have similar things in common, and a lot of those are like the same fantasy tropes between the two, like a goblin being like a little stupid thing that you can take home with you is both a bad unless it's done in an interesting way, right? But like is both a bad trope in fantasy where it's like, oh, I'm gonna kill this goblin's parents and take the child and try and raise it, as my own. And it is also a bad trope in porn where it's like, oh, there's a bunch of evil, gross male goblins, but there's this one hot woman goblin who I'm gonna take as like a pet wife. And it's like, you have not thought about that once. You have not like taken that into your brain and like considered. Awesome. Sorry. Considered what that even means. So, Yeah. For the record, Eclipse introducing me to Warframe introduced me to Warframe pornography, which is actively improving a game I'm making right now. Let's fucking go!
Oh, that rules. That's great.
Let's fucking go. There's this really good piece of Warframe porn where it's like the operator sitting on the operator chair, and her fucking Nova is getting like fucked by the infested, and it's like swelling into her cunt. And I don't know if I can, whatever. I'm already deep in it. And like the infestation is like fucking. Like join us, and it just shows the operator like on the fucking operator chair, like totally brain broken, dripping all over the chair. For reference stage, the operator is like a teenager.
Yeah, no, I mean that's good. Yes, that's like the candy on top, but like yeah, that's good. I want that.
Yeah, anyways. Oh yeah, I wanted to mention something because you had talked about kind of the kind of dichotomy between our work in the beginning of the stream, and I really liked something that I'm not sure what I know that Calidora Yuri posted Cali Cthulhu, I forget what she's going by now, but Callie and Leaf were talking about on Blue Sky a while back, which is like there is a dynamic in specifically like like written smut posted online, kind of your AO3 type stuff, your what is it, read only mind type stuff, where the people who are making like really bubblegummy hentai, like hentai tropes, like porny stuff that is very light and fluffy, like feel a desire to move towards the like hard mexploitation stuff. And then there's the mexploitation people are like, how do I possibly how do I possibly lean more into stuff that feels more bubblegummy and hentai-esque? And I don't think you and I have that dynamic, but I just think it's interesting.
It is interesting. I mean, I think that there's I think the thing about it, right, is that like pornography, like all other forms of art, because pornography is obviously an art and should be understood as one, is that there needs to be a broad variety of outlooks, and that I'm fundamentally a deeply pessimistic person. I'm a very trans-pessimistic person. I really don't believe that there's a legacy and a history and I don't know, like I just really have a negative outlook on the future of being a faggot. But my outlook can't be the only one, because if it is, that's just unendingly miserable. So it's a real kind of call to I don't know, like I think a variety of perversions is necessary, and I think that we live in a climate in which perversion is so carefully controlled, both by the very obvious ways in which it's controlled, right? Like the what's currently going on with the credit card processors, like that pornography is being harder and harder to have a platform, right? There's a world where Hawkmoth King gets taken down off itch, but also that it's a world where like Pornhub really carefully curates what pornography exists, right? Like a lot of these porn sites really carefully curate it, and so our relationship with pornography is one that is constantly kind of marginalized and difficult to access, and it means that the art form is extremely limited by like what is allowed to be present, right? That if you're going to write hypnosis erotica on erotica, you have to like at some point make it clear that the person is enjoying what's happening, which is really
it's fucked up.
Like you can't write hypnosis erotica unless like, which is like more fucked in some ways. It just it's bad.
Yeah,
I was going to ask about the birds really quick though, which is that I know that we're 45 minutes in and we're one bird in.
Yeah, so I fucked up.
You fucked up? You got distracted? I distracted you?
You might I'm gonna die now.
Baby girl, did I distract you?
Maybe. Anyways. You might be my first guest to flirt with me. Actually, I don't know about that. I feel like
that's fucked up.
It is fucked up. What's going on? Fucking hey, people who have been on here before. What's going on? Why have you not flirted with me? But no. Normally, I'm supposed to only have the first bird in Trero for the interview section, and I instead had all 3 birds for this section, and I am apologizing. I am doing full Dougiesa in front of you to apologize for this transgression. I'm showing you my driver's license. You can take photos of it. You can take photos of my naked body, etc.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you don't want to see what I do to people who need to apologize to me.
That's scary. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So be nice to Sage.
Yeah, be nice to me.
Yeah. All right. Do we want to talk about the news?
Yeah, what's going on in the news right now?
Yeah.
My Twitter, my Blue Sky feed has been overwhelmed with Mario posting.
Oh god.
Maybe there must be other news besides that.
I don't know who Mario is.
Oh, I think he's the pre-transition form of Princess Peach. It's like Pokemon situation. Yeah.
Doesn't after he transitions, doesn't he fraught with his sister a little bit sometimes?
Yeah, he does. They fought.
I hope this gets me banned. Anyways,
I'm the reason why you get banned.
I would be so happy. I would be like, I would be ecstatic. All right, let's get Cordis the Newsbird coming in from. Listen, I can't quite say it's it might be a dungeon in like someone's basement somewhere. Cordis was not tied up, to be clear. Cordis is a dominant kind of bird.
I believe you.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I just burped. I got like a plate of fucking spaghetti here, but I'm locked in. I've been taking occasional dips at it. So this is spaghetti's so fucking good. So this first story, listen, TTRPG news sucks right now, and I'm like, I don't really want to like not even that it's bad news. It's just there's not really much going on that like isn't this section's tough because it's like I think sometimes I really want to do like here's a roundup of games that have started crowdfunding, but like that is a sort of work that would require a team to do, and I am just myself. So it's like sometimes we do need a breather, and that is what this is. Games are not played on paper; they are played inside TV sets. Discuss.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I haven't even looked at what people have said about this particular thing. Has anyone actually engaged?
Will you reveal the information?
Oh, is it not visible?
Oh, oh, it's that thing. Oh, I mean, I think
Yeah,
I
it's this
was
fucking
joking
thing.
about that thing. I wasn't looking at the screen. I was too busy looking at porn.
Yeah, no
Um,
worries.
yeah, I just think that's like funny. I don't know. I don't know if that's that's like good. I think that can be true. I think it's really good if that's true for RPGs.
Yeah, like I don't think it's like I'm intrigued. I want to see the game that is made off of this. Um, that is played primarily inside of a TV set or like a little cardboard TV set that you make out of like fucking uh fucking like like cellophane or whatever. Um,
Yeah, I think this really looks like one of those images that would be like in a like a fucked up tranny scene. You know,
yeah.
like 'cause it looks like a page from You Will Die in This Place.
Hang on, I'm gonna do something.
Are you gonna make that?
I'm not gonna. I don't know if I can make the whole thing, but we're gonna get a vibe down here. Um, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell me about You'll Die in This Place. I actually have not read that yet, and I've been
That's
curious
so
to.
fucking embarrassing, girl. You can't be saying that out loud.
Wait, what was
You need to.
that? That's embarrassing.
You haven't read it yet?
I haven't read it yet.
That's you need to read it. I'm sorry. Like it should be the news. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It's just it's the
Well,
game.
maybe you'll have to do that, and you'll have to come back.
Yeah, I mean, it's an asymmetrical dungeon crawler that's like if Dark Souls met House of Leaves. And that's the game inside of it. The framing device is that it's by a 19-year-old trans woman named Charlotte, and Charlotte's cis friend Samantha is trying to make the game marketable in order to sell on itch.io. And so
oh,
it's a pile of notes from Charlotte that Samantha is translating um into a game. And then there's also Samantha's editor who like thinks this whole project is really stupid. And
that's
it's like
really
200
funny.
pages and it's fucking brilliant and there's so much going on about like what it is to like interpret and like to be understood and also like what it is to be a trans woman trying to be understood but like making art for cis people who will inevitably misunderstand you. And it's good. Sorry for laughing. I'm not sorry. I hope it was hot when I laughed at you for your ignorance.
Hello, everybody. We're back. Oh, okay, there we go. We're good.
Hey, my voice modulator is different, but it's still me. And also, to answer someone's question, yes, I will be using this voice modulator the whole time. That's the whole fucking point.
Yeah, I'm. Oh, okay. My preview froze for a second, but that's okay. I think we're good. Oh, it keeps happening. Oh my god. I think they can hear us though, at least, so that's good.
Yeah,
And hopefully it looks good on the actual fucking stream. This is immensely frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you know what? We're gonna. What do I even do about that? Hopefully it's moving on y'all's end. I think it was just some initial hiccups. I think we're good now. Okay, you can hear us. You can hear us. Everything's good. Everything's working. All right. So we're gonna skip right into the questions because we have some good ones and I think it would be good to get to them. We got some questions here from. I'll actually just read this because I really like the way that this person signed off, and I'll also send it to you so you can review these questions. I hate to boot off pornography with questions, but that's just kind of the world that we live in.
No, it's okay. Don't worry, I'll send you more porn.
Okay, yay. This question starts with, "Hello, Eclipse and Sage. Question for discussion. Both kink and TTRPG design spaces share significantly similar roles between those that organize/build frameworks for play and those that invent the culture of play through participation. Question 1, how do you both imagine taking what you've learned from kink communities to give your faggy art teeth? 2, what have other faggot games done for you? And 3, what do you want your faggot art to do to people? With a bent wrist and stabby tits, Cobalt Orion." So I guess we'll go through these one at a time.
Thank you, Cobalt.
Yeah, thank you, Cobalt.
Yeah.
So question 1, how do you both imagine taking what you've learned from kink communities to give your faggy art teeth? I mean, we've kind of touched on that. I'd love to hear... Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to answer it explicitly, I think that, risk-aware consensual kink is not the perfect model, but I do think that that notion, as applied to tabletop RPGs, is very valuable, right? The idea that we can do risk-aware consensual play, or even just risk-aware play, that we can say, we're going to do a game, there's the chance you get hurt. Understand that that's the case. Go into it knowing how to negotiate that. That to me seems more, that to me is what I guess I've really learned, is this idea that it's all a process of negotiation, conversation, desire.
Yeah, I really like that answer. I think that's really good. We've been both asked, so now I have to think about an answer to this. I think probably for me it's like, if I'm talking about communities of kink, I think just being specifically around like a bunch of perverts in my college years like fundamentally altered the way that I think about like intimacy, that I think about sex. Like I don't know, just being well, I think actually part of it is that I was in those spaces, but I wasn't very much participatory. Like I was kind of always on the outside, because I think people knew I was very kind of touch averse, and I think like there's an element of desire in a lot of my work because of that. Because like, I wanted that.
You're an A-class yearner.
Yeah, I've yearned, and now I'm not yearning as much, but like, being in that yearning environment has given me power, I think, to make like deeply like perverted in like an obsessive kind of an obsessive way.
Yeah, I like that obsessive perversion.
Yeah. What have other faggot games done for you?
Nothing. That's not true. I just, I'm gonna say something that might be a little mean considering your audience, but I do think I'll be a little blunt, which is that I think that there's a scale that exists for many games, and I'm gonna quote a friend of mine and define it on the homophobia to bongos scale, which my friend originally used to describe churches. Which is that if you're looking for a church to go to, the problem is that they're all either homophobic or they're the kind that plays bongos during sermons. And everything's in the middle, and sometimes I will read a faggot game that is like Fatal. Like Fatal is like the extreme end of sex games. And then on the other end of it is like an RPG titled Mortification of the Flesh that is just kind of like an in-depth instruction on how to like be roadkill, and then the other person is an angel, and it's a two-player game that you resolve through like particular combinations of hand gestures, and unfortunately that does not get me off even a little bit because it also I think aligns with sex by virtue of being like through poetry it aligns having to think about sex, and I think that I would like to see more RPGs that are interested in the space that I'm interested in, which is to say, group games with a GM and players, like a trad fucking game. I'm sorry, not to be like, I don't know, I guess I'm just like a fucking traddy, an old head, but I just like, I'm not interested in layer games, I'm not interested in solo games. I want some shit that's really like awful, but also follows like the structure that compels me, and I have yet to find that. So nothing inspires me. I despise everything. I am the one lonely maverick in a field of boring slop. I am God, and none of that is true, but that's how I feel sometimes when I try to look at it. Yeah.
I kind of actually feel similar, and I think a lot of my desire in making Sapphic World kind of came from that, which is that a lot of the games that I was seeing at the time that did have sex and sexuality, that were being released, contemporaneously, or within the last couple of years of starting to make Sapphic World in like fucking 2021, 4 years ago. Fuck. But point being, I think a lot of those games were very like factless, I guess. Not to be mean, but like, they were not. Oh, a little freezy. They were not games that were like, really compelling to me on I think a similar axis to what you're saying, because I like pervert stuff that is that is like a little more trad, a little bit more a little bit more like fucking you sit at a table with people. So I don't think that sensibility is strange at all. I think
I think just maybe I think maybe the thing that I'm articulating is like there's one of my other alters, to be clear, is screaming at me and banging their hands against the wall. I'm the one fronting, so bitch, I'll say what I want. I think that like really the factor is like so often it's easy to use perversion without using sex, right? There's a lot. It's really easy. Like much like, I mean, you've got the two-player game about a dragon and a princess, right? And like that's cool, that's hot. But is there? I guess I haven't read it, so maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just straight up wrong. But like, do the dragon and the princess like fuck? Do we get into the dragon cock at all, or is it all about eating?
There is a scene. There's a scene in the game that is literally, you have to fuck and you have to be flying while you fuck.
Okay, that's good at least, thank God. But like, I think there's a lot of games that feels to me almost a little relieving. I think there's a lot of games like your Dragon game that would not have that quality. I think there's a lot of games that would just be like, this is a game that's horny, it's about eating. And I'm sorry, I'm not into war in a way that eclipses sex. I am into sex, right? Like, I want my horny games to out first and foremost the mechanisms, the disgusting process of sex, and then to have its metaphor be something that can be layered on top of, or I think very often for people the metaphor is the point, and then the sex is kind of just the way in which you get at the metaphor. But I'm just not. I'm a classicist, I'm a boring kinkster. I'm here to fuck people. Okay, not to bitch, but I was at an orgy And at the orgy, everyone was doing shibari and like really artful shibari, and then they were doing like intensive impact play. And I was sitting in the middle of this room, surrounded by people in artfully tied shibari, and getting hit with big heavy paddles, and going, "No one here is having sex."
Uh-huh. Where's
Right?
the
I'm at an
piss?
orgy and there's no sex. There's just shibari and impact play, and that's
Uh-huh.
lovely. I'm very happy for them, but it's not sex for me. And that, I think, is where I run into the wall that I hit with a lot of horny games. And I say I would love to be able to make them because I know a lot of them are listening, and I don't want to alienate my friends because it's
Yeah,
not being
fair.
said. Or my friends, it's just being said to express my
Your taste.
my personal taste.
Yeah. I think you would like A Stranger's Just a Friend, by the way. I should get you a copy of that. Because it is very
Yeah.
post me having read and played Hawkmoth, and kind of in that in that sentiment. I actually haven't answered the question yet. What have other fag games done for you? I mean, besides like the obvious one with Sage being here, like the fact that I came up with the term like faggot games as a thing because I played Hawkmoth and I was like, this is kind of in line with a kind of emotion. Um, but I feel like it's like, I don't know, I draw a lot of little bits of inspiration from a lot of things that people make, and I feel like I am often like thinking a lot about I'm often thinking a lot about like the ways that people's understandings of faggot games differ, and I do think that you are identifying something, Sage, which is like, I do think sometimes there are faggot games that are like maybe too artful in their like sexuality, but I do think that there are some that are like doing like hitting a good balance for me personally. Like I really like Derek Bendel's You Are But Steel is really good. Which is a game where you are a single robot going into a megastructure, and the megastructure will like bend and break and fuck and like fill you and like convert you in all these different ways. And it's like the first time this robot experiences love, but it's like as violation, and I think that's like a really fun thing. But yeah, I guess
That sounds way too artsy for me still.
that's
but,
understandable.
Like I need you to like I'm someone who struggles with like GM-less games. I don't know. I'm just I have a particular taste that is like, and I know that my taste skews I think more trad than most people.
Yeah, fair. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, just you know, I'm always like seeing stuff that I think is fun, and also frankly seeing things that I look at and I'm like, wow, I can see my own prior hesitance in this work, and I'm always trying to like push people to be more fucking weird with it and like unapologetic and harder, because I think like that is a thing that like I don't necessarily care about like the aesthetics of it. I don't care about like the, you know, the mexploitation versus bubblegum hentai of it, but I do care about like when you say a thing when you say a thing is true about your world or your game or whatever, like that it is that you carry through with it. Like if these are the trees that grow people, they should grow whatever flesh they can find. It should not be a thing of like they only grow humans and not animals. No, like this is this is the thing that you've committed to. Let's go in the weeds here. It's why Sapphic World now has fucking flirt folds for beasts, because like that is an element that like, you know, our like internal like kind of discussion about it was more about like you know, like fairy tale creatures and like the unicorn and stuff like that, like the way that an animal in, you know, a fiction can be its own kind of sexual object, but But I mean, like,
Well,
some people just want to fuck animals.
Yeah, well, I think a really cool thing about RPGs is that the system can have implications, right?
Mhm.
Like, you can say, alright, here's the rule for fucking things. You don't have to specify what. You can kind of just leave it
Uh-huh.
open and let people figure out, right, that there's not really a limit on that, right? I think there's a way in which, like, systems can produce unintended or, like, intricate complications that are themselves. Like, in Hawkmoth King, there's rules for making a devil as an animal,
Mhm.
and a devil that's possessed the body of an animal, and then in order to get it a devil, you have to still seduce it and fuck it, so there's rules for fucking animals. Hawkmoth King, even though I never explicitly put the two together, it emerges, and that's the cool thing about games, that it's a almost like a show don't tell situation.
Yeah, that I agree. I think there's like a lot to be said about just like putting a thing out there and letting it interact with the rest of the mechanics and not saying like, by the way, you can't do this specific thing.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, fucking eat the right. Anyways, I need to write a blog about that and stop fucking complaining about it on this show because it's gonna be the death of me. Yeah.
Always write another blog.
Always write another blog.
I need to start a blog.
What do you want your faggot art to do to people is the third question here, which I think is a fun one.
I want to make them come, or at the very least, I want to, like, edge them a bit about it. I want to use it as a gateway to get invited to more orgies, which so far, Hawkmoth King has gotten me laid 3 times now, I think, in some form or another. So that's cool. I think it's the highest proportion of threesomes as a direct result of Hawkmoth King, so that's cool. I don't know, I think it's a purely sexual, it's like why do we do anything? It's the fuck, right? What's the purpose of life? It's to fuck. That's all I really am concerned about here. That's what I want to do to people.
I want people to fuck each other and send me pictures, is what I want.
Oh, that's great.
Like, yeah, I don't...
I want, yeah.
The joke...
Sorry. Platforms so I can groom people.
God bless. God. To be clear, she means that. She's being 100% serious.
Yeah, I'm joking. My lawyer is on the phone right now with me begging to tell you I'm
begging you.
Yeah, when I get inevitably cancelled sometime in the next few years.
I should include places to send them in the book. There is... Okay, so in fucking Natalie Pudum's Can You Host, there is a page that contains a Faggot Games ad, and it does include, like, send me your Faggot Games, and includes my email address, and it includes the text, like, don't... Hang on, I can find it. Where is this fucking thing? It's like, don't send anything, or something. like it's like complete fucking reverse psychology.
That's awesome.
Yeah, do I have a... Would this be commissioned art? I don't know, it's like... Can you host? Sorry, now I'm just looking at this, because I want to find the fucking wording, because I remember it being funny. Would it be... Commissions? I don't know where I put this thing. It's whatever, I'll find it. But yeah, point being, I have technically put a thing in a book that's like, you should send me pictures, but I haven't... I actually don't really want people to send me pictures of anything. Well, that book isn't out yet. Like, I don't really want people to send me pictures of anything, but like, the bit of constantly saying, like, you should send me pictures, you should send me video, is really funny. There's going to be a bit in Faggot Games 2 that also says that. Spoiler for that.
That's funny.
Yeah. Alright. So that's that question. Then we have a question that was on Blue Sky, the fucking accursed website.
The hashtag asking questions on Blue Sky.
People are hashtag asking so many questions, and it's really a hashtag bringing up hashtag interesting conversations.
This is true. The interesting conversations hashtag is really weird.
Yeah, I imagine it's a lot of like dudes with DUIs and like divorces, probably.
Yeah, they're like looking forward to my interesting conversations with Grok this evening.
Yeah. A lot of dudes who can be turned into horrible, horrible women using the right
Yeah.
tools. Alright.
Any dude, yeah.
Yeah. Nightmare Roleplay Game asks, what are some of your favorite examples of this fusion in game? Oh, sorry. Frag feed. This was in the Blue Set comments. Freak fag art and TTRPGs. It's going to be a wild night. What are some of your favorite examples of this fusion in games? What do I like?
I mean, I feel like a lot of we've talked a lot about that lately. This evening. I don't know. I really like a lot of the visual novels that have been coming out. I've been getting off to those. There was one time a text-based RPG, like a video game that I played where you'd like it was like a demo test, and you'd go around and interact with various monsters, and they do kind of like horrible things to you, and like you were like using that as a way to get body parts. Like you started with like nothing, you were just kind of like an orb, but then one of them would like graft a penis onto you so they could fuck you. And then like another one would like graft arms onto you so you could jerk them off. Like that was I don't know, I mean, I think that like it almost feels impossible to articulate because it's like, well, like tabletop RPGs are an art form. Art is erotic, right? Like there's a long history of erotic art. I think tabletop RPGs are in fact kind of strange in that erotic RPGs are substantially rarer than the prevalence of erotic art in other mediums, right? Like the ratio of non-erotic books to erotic is substantially more balanced than non-erotic tabletop RPGs to erotic ones. So that's like rather strange if you think about it.
Yeah. I think for me, this is gonna be such a fucking contradictory question because of the sort of answer, considering the sort of art that I do. I think some of the hottest TTRPGs that I've played have been like when me and a person who clicked really well played a non-erotic TTRPG as an erotic TTRPG. I'm in a game of the Electrum Archive right now, which is in that kind of space, and it is really fucking hot. I have played. I don't even think I should get into the games that I played this way because I feel like my peers are going to be aware of that. It's going to be like, but you know, listen, if you've been on the Dovecote, there's like a maybe like probably like maybe like 24. Like 1/24th chance that I have like used your game to jack off. So
I played a very erotic game of Jade Dragon's 7-part pact. That was really good. There was some interesting stuff there. I've definitely also gotten off to Apocalypse World. Have 10 Candles, Monster Hearts. I think, to me, I don't know, maybe I'm just boring. I think that the best sex RPGs I've played is when we've been having sex and we've been using kind of roleplay as an intermediary to enhance the sex.
I agree actually a lot. I've it's Lilith, can I talk about our solo games?
Yeah.
Okay, so me and my partner Lilith, Lilith is the creator of Euphoria 2180, which is like a like trad sex sci-fi post-apocalyptic like tactical survival TTRPG, and I make Sapphic World, so we've been playing like solo or not, duet with each other, like every week basically. Although we're kind of still starting it up, but like it's been a really nice chance just to kind of fucking jerk off together and like like kind of turn each other on. I don't know, it's nice. Yeah.
Wonderful, I love that. That's good.
Yeah, so I very much agree in terms of like I think yeah, having it as like a sex that you're already having. Um
Mm-hmm.
or like even just having the understanding that you are a thing that I've started doing more and more with games where it's like I know everybody here is like, hey, can we jack off during this? Um,
That's great. That's good.
yeah.
I've yet to do something like that. I don't feel like
Geostationary. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go for it, please.
I have bad news for you, Geostationary. One of your game, I've jacked off to one of your games, so watch out, Buster. Um,
Um,
yeah. Anyways, very normal episode of the Dovecote. Does anyone have any other questions in the chat? Because that was actually all the ones that we had.
yeah.
In the fucking
No
hopper.
one has any questions from me. That's okay.
How is that bad? What was that?
Favorite game to jack off?
Okay, Lilith asks favorite game to jack off to.
For me,
Mm-hmm.
um, um, I feel like I'm very boring here. Like, I just feel like my favorite thing to check off to is sex.
That's
Like,
awesome.
I think also, like, I think I'm very spoiled. I haven't checked off in a while because I have, like, dogs.
Oh yeah.
Like, dogs. So I just kind of, like, come in that, and that counts for me. So.
God. Oh my god.
I'm gonna get you taken down from Twitch.
No, that's so.
Not allowed.
That's so fucking funny.
I just like estrogen means my libido's not very high, so just wanting to jack off, I just like grab a dog.
Okay.
Okay, now we're done here.
Yeah, you can. Oh my fucking
I'm gonna
god.
make your computer crash again. Is that what's gonna happen?
Yeah, you're making my. Oh no, my computer's crashing. Ah no.
Yeah.
I love to get off on Tin. Tintoy is a good one to get off on, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sex is a good game to jack off to.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have like a really big like? I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite game to jack off to. I'm like looking at Lilith now because I'm thinking about it. I've jacked off to some amount of Sapphic World for sure. It's been fun because it's like my fucking pervert realm, and it's like I'm the fucking wizard GM in that fucking
Yeah, you
situation.
made it.
Yeah.
You made. I feel similarly about Hawkmoth. I think I've never jacked off the table. Also, I'm like when I'm GMing, I'm too busy GMing to jack off. Also, I'm like desperately afraid. I'm always very scared that like if I'm running a game and I come, I will like get bored. I really like I don't want I don't want to chop the game. That'd be really. I feel like that would really like delay my energy levels, and so I just can't risk that.
I've been
That's my stance on the question.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, do you have thoughts about jacking off the table? I really like it personally. It's a thing that I enjoy, and I find like fun, and I find that the people I play, the types of people I play with, find it fun, specifically.
That's good.
Yeah. And also, God, should I even talk about this? So I have 11s, and so I'm gonna GM some Sapphic World for some friends, and have the 11s in, and I've written Sapphic World rules specifically for that, for each title. So those might be released one day. Just know that they are the result of like my actual fucking gooning.
That's good. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. GM gets to. I also like GM gets to control the vibrators. Is fun, but the inverse is also very fun. There's some.
I mean, it depends on like what you're looking for is like power or the inversion of power, right? Like GM controls the vibrators very self-evident, but I think players get to control the GM's vibrator and like some kind of like that correlates or inversely correlates with the experience of the gaming table. It's very fun. And I think really what I want is to do a game of Hawkmoth King where everyone has a love and zen, and then you get to control a player when you have sway over them. Would be my
Yes.
pick. Because sway is such a common mechanic in that, so I think that'd be really enjoyable. That'd be how I would do it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I will release the vibrator rules will probably be a fucking stretch goal because I feel like that's how you get people.
Yeah, that is great.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here, Sage. Besides your
Yeah.
itch, is there anything you wanna direct folks towards?
No. No.
No.
That's my blue sky. I don't know. Pay attention to me or don't. That's not my problem. You can, however, you can send me nudes, but only if it's okay. If I think the nude is bad, then I'll be mean to you about it. If you can't handle that, don't send me nudes.
Yeah. All right. Well, if my Twitch channel is still here, next week we will have. Oh God, who's even gonna be
Yeah,
on?
I would take it down. Yeah.
Let's do gossip about who. I don't even remember who the next person is.
Could be
It
anyone.
is. Oh, Mostigar. Yeah, that'll be a fun person. All right. Cool.
Okay, well, good luck. I hope that I'm not just demonetized your stream or whatever.
No, I don't make money off this anymore. So, because
Well, that's good.
I dropped off of the affiliate program because I don't want to fucking fund the U.S. military.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, that's good. Alright, so there's no risk of demonetization, there's just the risk of blowing your platform. Well, I hope that didn't just happen. And also, we live in a fascist hellscape. From the river to the sea, someday Palestine will be free, and fuck this stupid Baka country.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah, I think like. I don't. Part of it is like I've been saying faggot a lot on stream recently because my thought process is honestly that like no one's really watching, like not in the way that like people aren't watching the stream, but specifically like
Yeah.
I am currently in a spot where I'm under the radar of like general audiences, and so I feel yeah I feel confident using that fact to get away with shit because really moderation on Twitch is not about what you say, it's about who hears it and who is willing to report it. And I think I've been lucky in not having that be an issue. But
Good.
yeah, who is yeah, I'm gonna raid Rectroid who is streaming. What is this? Vectroid is exploring the Internet Archive and is in like a 2000s era fucking office building and has styled her stream to look like that. So go watch that, and have fun. Bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Remember, if you don't like what you see, you can change it. It's up to you, really. Goodbye, good luck, fans!